Hey friends, Andy here. How you doing? Good to see you. So, have you decided to start a small business? Or have you recently started one? Would you like that small business to have the greatest chance possible to succeed and not nosedive into the earth with all your hopes and dreams on board? If yes, well then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 10 things, that's how many fingers we have, the 10 things that you should never do when starting a small business or side hustle. Now, every video on this subject tends to start the same way. They say 90% of all startups fail within their first year, and that sounds scary, and that statistic is true, but that's for startups. I have a feeling if you're watching this video, you're not going the startup route, you're going the small business route. Well, good news, 80% of the small businesses that were started last year survived. Only a 20% failure rate first year. Now, looking at the trends of small businesses, by the 5th year, 50% of them will fail. Now, that is not as dire as the 90% startup failure rate. It's still a significant amount. So with all that in mind, here are 10 things you should never do when starting a small business to increase your chances of success. But before we go any further, stop, collaborate, and click that like button. Okay, that's not exactly how the song goes, but your likes help my small business out a ton. So why listen to me? You know, this guy. Well, I've been running my own small businesses since I was in junior high. And my current small business is about 10 years old and still doing just fine, no thanks to the pandemic. So I've seen my share of success, but also failure, and I feel like I might have some insights that will be helpful to you. Okay, on to the list of my top 10. My first tip of what not to do is to not be wrapped up in being perfect. In most cases, good enough is good enough when starting a new business. You will learn and you will evolve, and you can't let being perfect stop you from forging ahead. Just start. Or if you prefer to stick with Nike's banging slogan, put on your sweatbands and just do it. My next two tips go hand in hand, and they both revolve around how you make the money, honey. It's easy to get hype about starting a new business once you commit to it and focusing on refining the business processes. The fact of the matter is, your main goal in starting a new business shouldn't be creating the finest Excel spreadsheet the world and Einstein have ever seen. It's focusing on creating customers. Contacts turning into customers is what pays the bills. Even if you don't have a dazzling Excel spreadsheet in front of you to track it on. Paper and pen are still a thing, just focus on creating customers. Since I know you're already going to listen to my advice and be an insatiable customer creator, what do you do with them when you get them? Well, you're not going to ignore customer service is what, but you can ignore all of my double negatives in this video, or at the very least, don't tell my high school English teacher, I'm sorry, Mrs. Smith. Back to customers. So they are your bread and butter, your livelihood, and for the sake of some hyperbole, for flourish sake, your lifeblood. As Uncle Warren Buffett says, constantly delight them. That doesn't mean you need to give them massages and free coffees, but it does mean that you should keep your promises, answer communication in a timely fashion, and remember that last one? Ask them to refer their friends. Constant client creation and customer service. Next up, don't get caught up in busy work. We talked a little bit about this in getting wrapped around the axle creating processes, but busy work could even look like business cards or websites or office supplies. Do you need brand new Papermate pens to be successful, or even business cards? People have phones basically surgically attached to their hands these days, so that's gonna be a no from me, dog. Do you need customers? Oh yes, that again. Even though I just told you that you don't need to get bogged down with administrative tasks and busy work, there are two things I do not want you to skip, okay? Those two things are business plans and contracts. When you're just getting started, these documents should be fluid and you don't have to spend a ton on them. Your business plan can be as simple as scribbling on a cocktail napkin what you want to accomplish and who your target customer is and what you have to offer them. Southwest Airlines was created on a cocktail napkin. If they can do it, you can too. The polo shirts and dad jokes are optional. The thing is about your business plan is that it will evolve. It's not a contract with yourself, it's just a document to help you focus. Now, you don't have to have a contract with yourself, but I must insist that you do have contracts, written agreements, and invoices for your clients. The internet is full of free and cheap ones, and they'll carry you through the early stage. You just really need to set expectations about what you're delivering, how much you're delivering it for, and how you're delivering it. This isn't a task to slow you down. It is really just about covering yourself, and it can be absolutely revisited with a lawyer after you've gotten some traction. To start, just pick something. Hansel and Gretel had breadcrumbs, but you're gonna have a paper trail, okay? You don't have to go this alone either. Starting a small business is not easy, and having a community surrounding you can help immensely. People love to help people, and when you are starting a new business, be a shameless receptacle for help and support. You might surprise yourself by finding local groups of like-minded people, but if not, there are tons of online communities out there that offer support. Being surrounded by small business owners who you can bounce ideas off of, get support from, and even help will be invaluable to your success and feeling like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. There are people you haven't even met yet who are ready to cheer for you. Isn't that cool? I think so. The next thing I want to impress on you is not to think the idea of working for free is worth less. If you don't already have a portfolio or testimonials, sometimes offering something for free is the best way to build your customer loyalty. We already know you're going to delight your customers because Uncle Buffett said so. There is some real merit in creating your portfolio or clientele by offering some free work, and that might be the best thing to get the ball rolling. Do you know what else you don't need to do to get started? You don't need to spend a ton of money. I'm talking about working with the bare minimum of supplies. I pinky promise that you do not need a 12-foot billboard of your face to be successful. You also don't need to upgrade to the latest and greatest equipment. You can get creative with what you have and save yourself the Skrilla until you can upgrade with your profits. I believe in you. And finally, speaking of believing in you, you need to believe in yourself. Don't be failure conscious. Sure, 50% of new businesses fail by the 5th year, but you're not them and they are not you. Now, I'm not telling you you need to rub your entire body down with citrine crystals and take up manifestation rituals. Just know that you will be successful. Focusing on what you want to happen instead of what could go wrong will help you keep moving in the right direction. Yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, but mistakes and failures are opportunities. You either dwell on them and think, woe is me, or you take them as lessons, learn from them, and grow and make yourself and your business better. You can do this. Believe in you. Okay, those are my big 10 tips. However, I will say that there is another incredibly important small biz and side hustle tip. Keep your finances separate. Watch this video to hear more about that, why it's important, and which biz bank accounts I recommend. And watch this video if you are a freelancer and want an account that does everything for you. Otherwise, that's it from me. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.